Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Prologue Productions podcast. My name is Jacob.
And I am Jake.
Yeah, we got some funnies today. We got the giggles.
Yeah, and it's also not day; it's nighttime.
Yeah, we're enjoying the night. I'm a night owl by nature.
I thought you were gonna say something totally different.
What did you think I was gonna say?
Man of the night, enjoying the
Just
night.
a man of the night.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
Out here.
That's a prostitute.
For those of you who weren't aware, also I had something from last session,
Which was
so the last character we made, a warlock turtle,
Harken.
the warlock turtle,
Yeah,
the second evolution of Squirtle.
that's War Turtle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? Oh,
I can't believe
yeah.
it went. It
Yeah.
was right there.
Mm-hmm.
She's a war turtle.
She
War
really
turtle.
is. Yeah.
No, that's more Blastoise. Squirtle.
That's
That's
Squirtle.
Squirtle.
You just do.
War turtle.
There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty
yeah. You got to meet somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. Anyway, let's make our second character for our Dragons
Of
of
Ice
Stormwreck.
Sorry, Stormwreck
Dragons
Isle.
of Stormwreck Isle.
Stormwreck Isle.
I knew. I was going to say it too.
I know.
I transferred my...
That one's just so easy to say.
Dragons of Icefire Peak.
It just feels right.
Yeah, Stormwreck Isle.
Stormwreck Isle. I don't know.
I like the way it sounds.
Yeah. It does sound nice.
It does.
It feels kind of tongue twister.
It does.
A little bit.
But, it doesn't sound nice. It sounds like a bad place to be. Mm-hmm. Icefire Peak also actually sounds like a bad place to be.
Icefire Peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really hit those consonants, baby.
Yeah. I do love to hit a good consonant. That sounds weird. That sounds weird. All right, so let's roll the dice here.
Starting with class as per usual, as per our patented process.
Yeah, our patent pending process of procedural
Prologue
production.
There you go.
I don't know, more P's. So I rolled an 8 on our D6 and D20. So that is going to be option 4, which is
A druid.
Druid.
Yes, a class we have not done as of yet. Our practice podcast session, our session -1 that we did, we made a druid of the Circle of the Land. But that one probably won't air ever. So we're going to do it again, but we're doing it for real.
Yeah, it's cool. I didn't name it after my cat.
Fucking, we're doing it live.
Doing it live.
Yeah, you did name it after your cat. Such a
My sweet, sweet cat. Druids.
So there's 7 types as far as we have listed right here, 7 subclasses of druid. Druids are protectors of nature. They are the embodiment of its wrath and its beauty. They have the ability to shapeshift into creatures, and they have special skills based on which circle they follow, which is a further representation of different parts of nature. We're going to roll a D8 here. What is that?
That is a 1.
That is a 1. I feel like we should reroll.
7.
7, Circle of Wildfire. Wildfires bring about change. Ecosystems always revive.
Yes. It is the like nature may seem chaotic, but it always has a way of recuperating. It's the natural process in which nature destroys itself, but then with the fuel of that fire is created a new life. It's beautiful.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
It speaks to the cyclical nature of nature.
Yes.
Its natural natureness. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's such good stuff.
Do love a good circle.
I'll talk about druids a little bit here. I love them. They're cool. They
talk about druids. Love them.
That's it. Actually,
moving on.
That's all. No, druids fit a very cool niche in good old Durgand, where they can heal. They have very powerful healing spells. They can also function as a tank with their wild shape ability. As per the 2014 rules, which are the rules that we're using, they have a health pool on top of their health pool when they wild shape. So they can effectively act as tanks and soak up damage while still being viable, dealing a little bit of damage and also fulfilling sort of utilitarian purposes if you need somebody who can swim or can fly. However, as per, again, the 2014 rules, druids don't unlock the ability to change into a creature with a swim speed or into a fly speed until further levels. Yes. Mm-hmm. They also get their circle, I believe, at level 2.
They do.
They're one of the few where their subclass hits at level 2 instead of level 3. So they get a little bit of a power spike a little earlier than some other classes.
Yes, they also get certain spells that are tied to whatever circle that they're from that usually is of some thematic importance, in which case wildfire, they get access to a lot of different fire spells. I believe they also get some, since wildfire also brings up, renewal and revival, they also get some healing spells with it. I believe they get revivify with it, which
plant growth.
So they get stuff not just related to the destruction part of wildfire, but they also get part of like the renewal and the healing and all that cool stuff. So
that's right. Just as a little blurb here from D&D Beyond, druids within the circle of wildfire, almost lost it there, understand that destruction is sometimes the precursor of creation, like we've been saying. These druids bond with a primal spirit that harbors both destructive and creative power, allowing the druids to create controlled flames that burn away one thing but give life to another. That's their second level feature. They get circle spells. This is basically, you have formed a bond with a wildfire spirit. This link with the spirit grants you access to some spells at certain levels. And then they have a stat block for that wildfire spirit. And that could be, this is a great place to throw in some flavor on your druid here. Because that spirit, while being an elemental, could be something a little different. We were just talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
I forget, I think it's Gen 4 or Gen 5, the fire monkey starter.
Infernape?
Yeah.
I believe is Gen 5, yes.
Gen 5, yeah. Fern from Critical Role Campaign 3. She's a circle of wildfire. She has a fire monkey wildfire spirit. So just as a hint of flavor you can throw in there.
It's a spirit. So it can literally be whatever you want it to be. It can be flavored in any which way. If you want to have like a baby, like a tiny phoenix that follows you around, it can be something like that.
Such a cool idea.
That's super cool. Or it can be the manifestation of fire. So maybe it looks like a little ember.
Or
that's
maybe
kind of floating
it looks
around.
like Calcifer from Howl's Moving
exactly
Castle.
like Calcifer,
and it's got a little bit of an attitude.
Perfect.
Yeah.
These are the opportunities when D&D's kind of vague with their descriptions. That just gives you more room to flex your creative muscles and to think up of fun, creative things. Take that stat block. It's like, all right, cool. Spirit. Boom. This is Calcifer, my flying fire spirit.
Yeah. Dope. Super dope. Another interesting thing here is a lot of the circles, you basically have to expend one of your wild shape features to summon your spirit rather than assuming a beast form. However, it doesn't just give you that summon. This summon also, it alters your spells slightly. So basically, when you summon it, whoever's nearby has to make a dex save or they take fire damage. Also, this wildfire spirit boosts your spells to a degree. This comes a little bit later, I believe. At level 6, that's an enhanced thing. And we won't go through all the things, but, it's like, again, the mix of destruction and creation, sort of as one. And that's super cool.
Super cool. We like it.
I like it a lot.
Okay.
Let's do race.
Race.
Race is going to be a D20.
D20. Now this is a special die, and I don't know what fuck you means.
Fuck you is a nat 20.
Is it?
Oh, we already did that.
Which is also a tortle.
Yeah, we got to re-roll.
Yeah,
but hey, you rolled 2 nat 20s.
That's hilarious. I mean, we could... having 2 of the same.
We gotta have.
We can, but we need a little bit of variety. We have a gnome.
A gnome.
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I feel like.
Do you want to try and
I want to try one more time.
One more time because we've already made a gnome. We've already Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. Really. We got a changeling.
A circle of wildfire changeling. I feel like
that is.
We've already been talking about change and how like destruction and creation.
Yeah, fire is like the fuel that drives change in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it brings destruction, but also brings renewal. So this person is probably from the Feywild.
Perhaps
that would make a lot of sense. Well, no, because changelings
are technically from the Eberron setting, but working them into your world, working any race into your world as a DM is something you should feel comfortable doing. If you don't think about it too hard.
Yeah.
Again, Jacob's perfectly accurate point. Just make it a Feywild race. Sure,
could be Feywild.
It's very Fey.
Or like the traditional, like how like folklore goes. is that a changeling comes about in the world when a fey creature steals a child and replaces them with a changeling.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That's the traditional folklore of like what changelings are. I forget. There might be a different name for them, but that's kind of the essence of what they are.
Actually, and I am slightly mistaken here. So I think changelings first originated in the Eberron setting, but as per the what's it called? Monsters of the Multiverse, the basically rewriting of a lot of the races and monsters and all that came out recently in the 2014 rules. D&D Beyond now says the first Changeling in the Multiverse appeared in the Feywild, just like you mentioned. Let's see. And yeah, that could be, I think pretty much every setting, including the Forgotten Realms, definitely has a Fey plane, the Feywild.
Yeah.
So,
or
easy.
access to the Feywild.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
So it can be, I kind of like the idea of this person being like in how like a folklore changeling is how they were put down on this plane because someone's child was taken, and they basically take the appearance of whatever child that was stolen, and they actually don't find out until later that they're a changeling.
I like that. That is cool. Yeah, well, we can keep that in the back of our brain housing groups, and
that can lead to a whole story of discovery. It's like, okay, they maybe found out, depending on how, once we roll how old they are, maybe they're young and they just started changing. Maybe they just started to find out that they had these
that would be really
powers.
cool.
Changelings, for those who don't know, they have an ability. They can change their changeling. They can change their physical persona or their physical body, as well as their voice. Everything about them, they can change to whatever they want, as long as it's a humanoid.
Yes. And you can change your size between medium and small. So you could appear as a gnome or perhaps a halfling.
Yeah, a gnome, halfling, Azamar. You can look like a bug. Like you can look like any of the other playable humanoid races.
And
you can sound like anybody.
Which, mind you, also includes a genasi, for instance, because they are humanoids. So fiery hair, fiery eyes. Maybe, perhaps.
So they could do that.
Perchance.
Well, then this leads to the question is, are they proud of their heritage or are they trying to hide their heritage?
That's very good.
We'll have to find out about their personality.
Keep rolling.
Yes, we'll have to find out their personality.
We're heading to background now, which is another D20 roll.
Background here.
So far, we have a pirate. Let's see what else we got.
That is a 5. They were
an entertainer.
An entertainer.
Interesting.
Okay.
I feel like entertainer and changeling go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just something that works,
It makes a lot of sense. Especially if the people that they're entertaining or the people who are who they're working for know that they're a changeling, then that's like there's a lot of money in that, because they can look like whatever the client wants them to look like. So This is like,
Also, entertainers,
and that's a very
little broad. Now
they could be a singer, they could be a dancer,
they could be a man of the night. I don't think prostitute is one of the backgrounds on.
I don't think so. It's kind of, entertainer. You thrive in front of an audience. You know how to entrance them, entertain them, and even inspire them. Your poetics can stir the hearts of those who hear you, awakening grief or joy, laughter or anger. Your music rises their spirits and captures their sorrow. Your dance steps captivate. Your humor cuts to the quick. Whatever techniques you use, your art is your life.
That was beautiful, Jacob.
Thank you.
You just the timing, the cadence.
Yeah, you like that?
I'm a little.
Well, I'm not a man of the
I'm
night.
a little
so.
interested in what they have for the rest of the entertainer here.
Yeah. They also get a musical instrument that they can play.
Let's roll on another table. They have the entertainer routines. Oh my God. If you roll a 3, I'm going to be so happy.
You tell me how many.
Yeah, you're going to roll a D10 here.
A D10.
Brother.
And you want me to roll a 3.
I want you to roll a 3.
Please roll a 3. Please roll a 3.
Do
Please
it.
roll a 3. It's a 9.
Damn it. That's a storyteller.
Okay.
Storyteller. Okay.
Oh.
That actually, I feel like that's pretty cool.
That's really cool. So they're kind of they're a one person show. We did a female. I think we'll make this person, gentleman, gender fluid.
Gentleman.
This person's gender fluid.
Yeah, they're changeling. They're literally gender fluid.
This is the textbook fantasy gender fluid. Yeah. They also are trained in a musical instrument. I feel like this one plays the flute. I don't know why. No,
sure.
Not the flute.
You think the flute is like a fiery kind of instrument? I'm thinking like drums, like boom, 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 boom. Like a big drum.
A drum, you say?
I don't know. Oh, they're also a storyteller, so instrument.
Or maybe a lute then.
A lute.
A lute.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
I think a lute.
I can get behind a lute.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful.
Also, the feature of entertainers is by popular demand. Although it could be back by popular demand if they, it says you can always find a place to perform. At such a place, you receive free lodging and food of a modest or comfortable standing, as long as you perform each night. In addition, your performance makes you something of a local figure. And when strangers recognize you in a town that you've performed, they typically take a liking to you. So, good or bad, you have people who know you.
Mm-hmm.
And in everywhere you perform, which in the case of this person would be the stories that they spin. And I'm imagining using their druidic wildfire to how there's those old stories of ancient humans, like pre-humans, that would tell stories and they'd stare into a fire and the fire would form the stories as they would tell them. Yeah. I'm imagining this person taking the shape of each person, like literally embodying each character that they are telling the story about, and then forming shapes in the fire in front of large crowds. And this doesn't even have to be a storyteller like in a classic tavern. This could be like tribal. Like maybe they grew up in a barbarian type land, or maybe they grew up in the Feywild and they became a druid, Circle of the Wildfire, somehow. That's obviously something we have to cover as well. How they became to be this druid, how the circle came to them. And telling stories is just part of their personality and mixing that together. Mm-hmm. So I'm imagining, I'm getting like very tribal images in my head right now.
Okay.
Maybe they're like the mystic for a barbarian group. Maybe they were shunned from society or something like that. And so, but they found a group of these barbarians wandering the tundra or wandering the steppes, and they became their mystic.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Their storyteller, all throughout history, the storytellers were the ones who were passing down the history. So maybe they were kind of like the historian for this group, and they were passing down the knowledge of this group, or like the history of this tribe,
Yeah, I like that. I always say that. I say something and then I go, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I say this whole thing and then I go pat on the back to myself.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, that's good.
I like that, Jake.
Nice.
Me too, Jake.
That's
Thanks,
great.
Jake.
Why are you even here, Jacob? I got this.
I don't know, dude.
I'm just kidding. You're important to me.
I think this is a kind of cliche name, but I think the name Pyre, it feels right. It's effeminate, kind of like.
Let's use that as a base.
We'll use that as a base. If you get something else, if something else, inspires you, then we'll do that.
Inspires me.
Okay.
Moving on.
Well, first off,
age.
3.
They're middle-aged.
Middle-aged. So they've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. So then this person has established themselves within the tribe that they're in. Mm-hmm. So they probably are looked to for guidance, and yeah. They might even be part of the council of elders. Or
I think that checks out.
Yeah.
I think that checks out just
very nice. So this person wouldn't be afraid or wouldn't want to hide who they are. So this person definitely would be evoking the fiery, the wisps of fire, probably looking somewhat like an air genasi, or bits of fire, or even having like some ember, kind of like this like sparkly ember like skin, or like wood that's been in the fire for a long time.
Yeah.
You get like that little crackly ember,
the sort of inner burn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Ooh,
really cool.
Very cool.
Awesome. So that was age.
Yes.
Next we got our traits, we got our flaws, we got our bonds, we got our ideals.
Personality.
Let's get the personality locked in here.
Let's get that rolling.
D100.
I think we've rolled this one before. 84?
84? That doesn't sound familiar.
I stretch the truth for the sake of a good story.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
The dice giveth.
Wow.
The dice giveth.
Would you look at that?
That's really nice.
That's very nice, isn't it?
It just fits.
Oh, that's crazy. That's amazing, isn't it?
I love that.
Personality.
Finally, we get a trait that's just
Finally,
on the money.
Just, so yeah, sometimes you roll dice, you're like, I got to work for it. And this time they're just like, here, let's give you.
I feel like we've had pretty good. I feel like it's been half and half.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah. Pretty solid. But this one, they just, oh my God. The dice gods are just spoon feeding us some goodies.
Out.
So definitely leans into them being the storyteller.
Absolutely.
Them being it's not historian. There's a word for like a.
Oh, I have it in here too. It'll come.
And it's not mystic. It's
orator.
Sure. That's not the word for it, but that's what they are.
Okay.
Because I know there's like a word for like the tribes, like one of the tribes people who like tells the stories and all that shit. There's a word they use.
Yeah, we could look it up.
I don't know.
Or we could just
come up with
absolutely ruin our current mood and let it reside in the back of our minds.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, that's good. I like it right. I like to keep it right back there.
Let's hit those ideals.
I shall.
Ideal.
All right. What do they value most in this world? Not that, because that's too high. And that is a 17.
17.
People, I'm loyal to my friends, not to any ideals, and everyone else can take a trip down the sticks for all I care.
Cool. I feel like I have seen this specific ideal in so many of my players' character sheets. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But, like, obviously a good precursor to a cohesive adventuring party is having your character be loyal to their friends.
Fiercely loyal.
Fiercely loyal.
Yes.
Also, the little bit about the river Styx. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to.
That just kind of hammers home the fact that, like, I could care less about anybody else.
Yeah.
I only care about my people.
Yeah.
So would that mean they're? That's interesting.
They're willing to lie to tell a good story, but they also are probably doing it to protect their friends, and they wouldn't do it at the expense of their friends.
No, they would never lie to their friends, but they would definitely lie to others to get what they want, to get a favorable result for themselves or the people around them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so a little selfish in that way, because they're always looking. They might always be looking for some sort of favorable result or a favorable reaction to stories and whatnot. So it's probably a little cathartic for them to see, like, to them get positive results from all that stuff.
Also, I feel like changelings are fey.
Yeah.
Naturally. And fey are capricious. Fey are always looking to, they also know the value of pulling one over on somebody.
Yeah.
And coming out on top.
Yes.
It's a very fey thing.
So that makes me want to lean into maybe they were from the Feywild and something happened to them and they got cast out, or
cast out, or maybe they.
Or you could still do the original thing where they were plucked. A child was plucked from existence and brought to the Feywild, and this person took their place, and then they just maybe always had this. Maybe they were a lot more capricious and they were a lot more self-centered than a lot of the people around them, and they always thought it was kind of weird. Yeah. Maybe they grew up in really humble, in like a small village or something, or in like a really close-knit group of individuals, and then they started to show the signs of their true heritage and were cast out because they were different. And then they found this group of wandering druids. Or
let's not get too into the cast out until we roll.
Oh, you're right.
The tragedy.
You're
meter.
right.
That
you're
determines.
Right. I'm looking.
No, you're spitballing.
You're
I love
spitballing.
it.
We're spitballing.
You're balling the spit, dude.
Yeah. Don't you poo-poo on my ideas.
I'm not poo-pooing on your SB.
So let's see their bonds. This is going to be a 3.
A 3. I owe me life to the priest who took me in when my parents died. That could just priest. Switch priest out.
Yeah, we're gonna use priest as a loose term
with druid or mystic.
Yeah, 100%.
Boom.
100%.
This is again the dice gods.
Yeah,
this is perfect. I owe my life to the mystic who took me in when my parents died. Boom. Immediately. Why are there a druid? a mystic took them in.
We might have to tweak it a little bit depending on the tragedy, because if they have no tragedy, then
when their parents disappeared.
Or
yeah. I mean, maybe their parents died of natural causes. If they're middle-aged, maybe their parents just died of old age.
Yeah. Maybe.
And
then had a midlife crisis and then found these druids who are like, hey, let's take you.
Yeah, took them in. Yeah. Maybe they left the Feywild because they didn't have any family connections anymore because their parents died of old age, happily in bed.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. Tragedy meter. The tragedy meter looms.
How's it feel?
It doesn't feel.
The tragedy meter is over looming. It's the marionette. It's the strings tying. Pulling everything.
The puppet master.
The puppet master. Yes. So
now
we need flaws.
A flaw.
The flaws. 57.
57. Unlocking an ancient mystery is worth the price of a civilization. I feel like that feeds into the whole storyteller thing.
Sure.
I feel like that could be transformed into an amazing backstory piece that a GM could very easily be like, oh, growing up, you always heard this story.
Yeah.
And at the end of this story is a prize, a treasure that is literally worth a civilization. Mm-hmm. You could be as literal with it as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or this could be, Or you can
means they're curious.
You can tie it to their Fey background, and this is something tied to that.
Yeah.
And there's always like this gnawing feeling of something great out there for them, and them just not knowing what. And then maybe the druids, getting close with nature is allowing them the means to to reach out and try and find that information from the whispers through the trees and birds.
Use their druidic abilities to literally talk to the plants.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They've been around for a long time.
They have?
They probably heard all kinds of cool stuff.
I'll bet those plants been talking.
Yeah. I mean, what else you gonna do?
I don't know.
You're kind of stuck in place.
Talking to plants.
Yeah. Tragedy meter. Here it goes. Here is...
On a scale from 1 to 10...
How bad, how tragic is this backstory? It is a 2.
A 2. That's, I think, the lowest we've rolled on the tragedy meter thus far.
I think
someone else shared a 2.
No, we rolled a 3, I believe, for Timothy. I think we rolled a 3 for him.
And Dante's was pretty low.
I think Dante's was low. Yeah, maybe we rolled low for Dante.
Timothy's were pretty low.
But so this person is older, middle aged.
Yeah.
So their parents might have died of natural causes. Died happily in their home, and then this person's just midlife crisis and is trying to seek. Maybe they lived a really great life in whatever community that they were in. It was a very simple, modest life, and maybe there were wandering bards who would tell stories, and so they would they'd sit there just ingesting every little story they got, and so they started to tell stories in their community.
You know what this is reminding me of? Kavoth.
Yeah.
This reminded me of Kavoth
100%.
from Name of the Wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just eating up every little story that they got, and then just started being the storyteller. And then maybe lost a little bit of that joy when their family died, when their parents died, and needed to change the scenery.
Yeah.
And stumbled across this group of druids who were welcoming them in with open arms, and maybe saw that a piece of that. Maybe even up until this point, they haven't even really embraced like that side of themselves, that changeling side, that wildfire in them, until they got that midlife crisis and going with the druids, and them showing this person to embrace those things that make you different and unique. And yeah. This
person, I feel like this character could be so many. We have one really good trait, which is like loyalty to friends. We have one kind of bad one that's basically I'll lie for a good story.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 kind of neutral ones.
Yeah.
A little neutral. Again, changelings, as they are fair, are going to be a little bit capricious by nature. Druids, however, tend to have a little bit more of a good aligned sort of nature to them. Although I think Circle of Wildfire could be either way, because destruction and creation in equal measure.
Yeah, when it's like it's like the Spider-Man thing. With great power comes great responsibility. I feel like wildfire druids, more than anybody, would have to understand that this is a destructive power that, when used poorly, can have, catastrophic results.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Just what would their wildfire spirit look like? I'm wanting to go down that path, because you know what? Everybody loves a good companion. Everybody wants a fun little companion that you take along with you on an adventure.
100%.
Everyone wants a familiar. I want a familiar. I want a pet in real life.
You can get one. There's a wealth of options. You can get a hamster.
A fish.
You can get a fish.
A giraffe.
You can't get a giraffe.
You could.
Michael Jackson had a giraffe, so I guess you can. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also don't have a ranch.
Well, time to save up. Maybe someday. Maybe someday you'll get the ranch of your dreams.
And have the giraffe that I've always wanted. I want to name him Spot.
There you go. A giraffe. That's their.
Hey, think about it like this. Maybe
a very small giraffe.
Maybe like a tiny giraffe.
A tiny giraffe.
Yeah. Maybe they grew up. Maybe when they came to the prime material plane and the tribe that they were looking after, or maybe even in the group of druids, the mystics that they were part of, they were the storyteller. And this responsibility got passed down to them from the elders. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that could be also, this is, again, another great GM opportunity here to create a group of druids. I think in Forgotten Realms, there's already a few canonical druids. I know, at least on the Sword Coast, there's the Emerald Enclave, right? Beyond that, it could be a local faction of druids to an area, or maybe a bunch of freaking Feywild druids doing a bunch of crazy shit. And Circle of Wildfire maybe is a little rare. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even their wildfire spirit is a fey creature. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Something that they take with them, a little symbol of their ancestry that they gained. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit.
Yeah, fey. Well, maybe like a pixie, but it kind of looks like a ember.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That'd be pretty cool.
You know,
like wings. Yeah, that'd be cool. Although I don't think it has... Yeah, it does have a fly speed, actually. Yeah, It has a hover speed.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Little pixie.
Now I really just want to look up fey creatures and just really dig into it. But if it doesn't come to me naturally, I feel like it's cheating.
I think just a very nasty little fire pixie.
Yeah.
Just talks a lot of shit to everybody.
It's got a bit
just
of a temper.
Big little temper, little attitude.
Little bit of a short fuse.
Little hot-headed.
Hot under the collar. Yeah. Okay, well, that's all of our roles for this character. Pyre, I think, is our placeholder name thus far.
I think it's kind of effeminate, but fire's
Pyre is sort of, it could be sort of in between.
Yeah, it's kind of a neutral.
I can't think of anything else. So fuck it, let's do Pyre.
Or Ember.
Ember's a little
It's a little on the nose. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Let's start talking about why Pyre is heading to Stormwreck Isle. I think that's what we're doing now. We're going to try to... This is obviously the most important part of getting a character integrated into an adventure. Why the fudge? Why the heck and heck? Why the fluff is Pyre headed to Stormwreck Isle? Maybe there is something underneath the island. Maybe that thing underneath the island, that tomb underneath the island, is linked because it is the tomb of a red dragon.
Yes. So that could be linked to their wildfire in some way, shape, or form. And maybe because red dragon fire is their main element. Fire is also their main element. I think just being naturally drawn to this magical tomb, I think just naturally just being pulled towards it for some reason. And maybe them not necessarily knowing why.
Or maybe, they're a storyteller. They're trying to unlock those ancient mysteries, and one of the ancient mysteries in a story that they've heard or they've been telling for a long time is that there's an island off of the coast, and there are untold mysteries hidden in this island.
I think them just wanting to go out adventuring just to have
just for
more
the sake of adventuring?
just have more stories to tell.
That's not tragic, which fits.
just filled with ambition to find the greatest story, or to write the greatest story that she's ever they.
Yep.
This is the they.
Yeah, we'll say they. This is a
They're
they.
Greatest story they've ever told.
I think that's great.
And that means they're going to have to go out and find them for themselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think also there's a lot of reasons on Stormwreck Isle for a druid specifically to be interested.
Yeah.
There's maybe they heard that there is a little bit of a blight happening in some of the caves. Maybe news leaked that a druid would be welcomed on Stormwreck Isle.
Yeah.
And so they answered the call. There can be a lot of reasons. Honestly, the more reasons there are, the more plot hooks you can tie in.
Or if the group of druids is a little bit more connected to the surrounding area, they might have been contacted to say, "Hey, we need somebody here because there's been a disturbance in the local ecosystem.
We need someone to come.
We're getting an influx of blight, and there's unusual myconid activity happening on the island. So there's
Yep, that's perfect.
Yeah,
I love that a lot. That's really cool. I think two hooks right there. Easy peasy. And then as a storyteller, again, anything in the adventure that is like, oh, the adventurers would know this, that's a little bit of a story, boom. Pyre already knows.
Yeah.
Pyre's been hearing these.
She's been listening to these stories. So there you said it with
the she again.
I don't know. It's because it's the Pyre part, and it's kind of effeminate, but I like it.
I got you.
I like it. Feels good. I think that even rumors, she probably has heard that they've probably heard of to some extent, because that's how a lot of their rumors are spread through stories.
Absolutely, especially in
like a fantasy setting.
Yeah, stories are the thing. Bards exist.
Oh yeah, so they probably have heard lots of rumors about surrounding areas. So they might have even heard about, even stuff for
the conflict of dragons that led to Stormwreck Isle being there, existing. Maybe the ancient mystery in her background has something in her. Now I'm doing it in their background. Has something to do with dragons.
Maybe just Pyre.
Because Pyre is good. I like Pyre better. Yeah,
Pyre. P-Y''R.
Nothing like a
E.
Every fantasy name,
Pyre.
you gotta throw some apostrophes in there, make it real fantastical.
Pyre.
P-Y''RA. Pyre. Pyre.
No, Pyre.
Pyre. Oh, Pyre.
Yeah, Pyre. Sure.
Take me Pyre, baby.
Pyre. Sure.
Cool. I like Pyre.
Sounds more gender neutral than Pyre.
I agree. Pyre. I think Pyre should have a last name. I feel like we've been slacking on the surnames.
We have been slacking on surnames. I don't know. Surnames are hard though. Unless you get real tongue in cheek with them, which is what I tend to do.
The good old fashioned fantasy where you just slam two words together and make a compound thing, like Pyre shift mask or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think it would be more towards their storytelling nature. Yeah.
Yeah. Pyre tall tail or something, or tall Taleweaver. Taleweaver. Perfect. There we go.
Pyre Taleweaver. Sure.
I like that.
Pyre Taleweaver.
Taleweaver sounds good.
But yeah, there's plenty of nuggets to give to them, and even if you want to like drop in some hints for some stuff going on later, this is the perfect person to do it. That's and right. If the person who's playing this character is a little bit of like a choir kid, or like a I can't think of the word of like a musical kid. Just give them little snippets, give them little ditties to tell little stories, or this would be a really fun character to just write like little haikus or little sonnets to do some stuff with.
That would be a lot of fun. And then also I would love to play this character and then just challenge the GM, always looking for stories. And all the NPCs, they're just looking for new stories.
Just like flipping through notes, like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Just extemporaneously making tons, like chapters and chapters of stories.
Just giving the GM way too much work, just because you're like, have I heard any stories about this?
That's so funny. I love it. Also, I'm imagining the primal spirit as sort of like a almost like a moth. Ooh. Like a big fiery moth. I don't know why, but that just hit me. Or like a butterfly, because the metamorphosis sort of, and the story in and of itself of like the life of that kind of creature.
Okay.
Very, very symbolic, perhaps.
I think butterfly leans more into the fae-ness of the character.
Like a flame butterfly, an ember fly or something like that. I don't know what it'd be called.
There's a name. There's a mythical creature that's kind of like that. They're like little. Oh God, I can't remember them. They're little spirits. They float around and catch stuff on fire. They're like blamed for They're like the blame for wildfires and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that sounds.
I think that sounds like a thing.
That
so I'm going to say that's a thing.
Be a thing.
And if it's not, it is now.
Cool. Canon. Boom.
Or it could just be a firefly.
A fire. Oh, it was right there. God, it was.
That's kind of lame, though. No,
Yeah.
I like butterfly.
I like the butterfly. I like moth. I'm really partial to a moth.
Okay, well, moth.
We'll meet in the
butterfly.
middle.
Moth or fly.
Moth or fly. How about a butter moth?
A butter, sure. Sure.
A butter moth.
Sure, why not?
Awesome. So, all right. I feel like we're pretty much honed in on Pyre here. Pyre Taleweaver.
I feel like I just keep going with this character, though.
I feel like there's a lot.
There's
here.
a whole lot. There's so much to flesh out.
You could delve into their family life in the Feywild. You could delve into
that they may or may not remember even, or maybe they do remember some early stuff, because typically they don't. It's like a changeling doesn't like awaken until they reach maturity, and that's when they kind of show their features. Otherwise, they're basically whatever person that they replaced. Yeah, and it's not until they start to grow where they start to reveal their nature,
and that, dear friends, is up to the player.
Yeah.
We are simple progenitors,
progenitors of
these random characters,
fabulously
randomly
wonderful
generating
random characters.
Yes. So, God, I would love to get into this character a little bit more. Pyre is very interesting. All these characters are so interesting.
Yeah, we're so good at this.
Oh, don't. As soon as you start saying shit like that, we're going to get flamed.
No, but I mean, we keep going until we find that this is an interesting character, then that's kind of the whole spiel.
Yeah.
That's the whole shtick we got here.
Also, the depth of a changeling, like they could have lived so many lives.
Yeah.
Ostensibly, based on the fact that they can change their appearance, they could have lived literal, different lives as different people.
And what I love doing for my characters, or at least for the character that we're playing in our campaign, is my character kind of has like a dual identity disorder, where they literally have like compartmentalized an entire section of their life that they don't remember. So this person, if you want to go that route, could have lives corresponding to different personas within that person, and when certain personas come out is when they start to shift and change a little bit and look more. Yeah.
Or maybe
you can get real crazy. You can get real cool with it.
I am a huge fan of the idea. It even says here in the description of changelings that it is rare to see a changeling in their true form, which is changelings in their true form. Their features are like devoid of detail. They're sort of just pale, white eyes,
amorphous,
very sort of like
vaguely humanoid.
Yeah, almost like a mask, like a living mask.
Yeah.
But it says, a typical changeling changes their shape the way others might change clothes. So I'm imagining Pyre, whenever a new story is occupying Pyre's mind, Pyre changes.
Yeah.
And embodies the character that they are thinking in a story. Or maybe they just,
might even correlate to their emotions to an extent.
Yeah, sort of Aladrine-esque.
Yeah, a little bit.
Or like,
but more literal and not just like, they turn
like a season.
A season. It's literally like they change into, maybe there are different stories that they tie to different emotions in their life or different events in their life, and that's they maybe see you can get so complex and so intricate with this character, and it just gets. We could talk here all night about this character.
Yeah, I agree. But hey, Feywild, not too tragic. Going to Stormwreck Isle, searching for stories, storyteller. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I gotta say it.
It's
dude.
it's your catchphrase
It
at
is
this
my
point. You
catchphrase.
got to do it.
I think that's it.
You got to do it. I think that's it. I think that's good. I think that's great.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You took the words right out of my mouth, buddy.
I know. It's good.
All right, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening.
That is our second character for Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. We hope you've enjoyed. And we hope you listen to the next one. We love you very much. Okay, bye.
So long.